Man, college football is weird, isn't it? Especially with the way that the calendar works and how everybody is now officially pissed off. It is absolutely ridiculous that we have so much around the NCAA that is currently ongoing. We have the Joey Aguilar situation, which we'll talk about in great detail later tonight. Also have, obviously, the situation with Trinidad Chambliss, who just looked like they have officially denied his waiver at this point in time. But that will look like that is going to go to court, which, to be honest with you, I'm not really surprised. I've been telling you guys that this is going to happen. I have been telling you time in and time and time and time again that you're going to see a lawsuit take place. This is going to be like the Rasul Faison situation from earlier this year. Let me look at my Wi-Fi. Hey, if the quality of the camera is bad, let me know. Is it bad? Because if it is, then I can switch to the desktop camera. But maybe Scout can answer that question for me. But nonetheless, guys, we are live. This is the Southern Sports Scene here, live on Twitter, live on YouTube as well. Everybody do us a favor. Y'all hit the like, share, and subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell notifications so that you are notified every time we go live, post a new video or post a new short here on the Southern Sports Scene. We appreciate every single one of you every single day for tuning in for whatever we have to post. Every live show is brought to you by our good friends at Chike Nutrition. Get in the best shape of your life as you begin 2026. The first month of 2026 has come to a close, and it's never too late to get on the right track. Visit the link down below and get yourself 15% off of, or 10% off of your first purchase, when you click the link below. Also want to thank our friends at Frost Buddy. Go to frostbuddy.com, use our promo code SSS15 to get 15% off of your first purchase. That's code SSS15 for 15% off. Yeah, I notice our Wi-Fi is a little slow, so we apologize for that at the moment, ladies and gents. We're going to continue to work on that over the course of the next few weeks, but that is none of the matter at this point in time. The college football calendar is a complete and utter freaking joke. 2026's calendar has just been released. The 26 and 27 college football playoff schedule is an absolute dumpster fire. And this is absolutely ridiculous, the way that this has been set up. It is beyond me why the calendar at this point in time is deciding that we're going to have certain days for specifically next year. Let's talk about what's going on next year in 27 and 28. The quarterfinals will be held the day before New Year's Eve, December 30th. All three playoff games, the rest of it, Cotton Bowl, Peach Bowl, and Rose Bowl, will be on January 1st. The college football playoff semifinals will be January 14th and 15th, with the national championship being held January 25th. 28, you have one quarterfinal on New Year's Eve. That'll be the Sugar Bowl. Three New Year's Day bowl games. Two semifinal games on the 13th and 14th, and the national championship on Monday the 24th. Why are we going so late into the damn season? Apparently, and look, this is what Rich Clark said, who's the executive director of the College Football Playoff. These dates allow us to maintain competitive balance, maximize the fan experience, and provide consistency for everyone involved in the playoff. Here is the problem with this. Here is the problem with that. When does the damn transfer portal open? Oh, yeah, January 2nd. There's only one portal window, by the way. Did anybody forget that that was the case? January 2nd through 16th is the new portal window. It started this year. It's going to continue on throughout the rest of college football at the moment. The reason why they have that window is for dudes to enter the portal and to potentially get enrolled within a few days' time at their new school before the new semester starts, which, by the way, typically for most schools, the end of the transfer portal window, which is January the 16th. So this year, January 16th was, I believe, a Wednesday. No, it was a Friday. So it started for 2 weeks. And then the very next week, for majority of schools, in fact, LSU for Louisiana, let me just stay for Louisiana. The last week that the portal is open, school starts for LSU. For a team like Southeastern, Louisiana, and the FCS level, depending on the type of school that you have, they're going to open the day after Martin Luther King. So you have this much of a space to work within, and now you're expanding the playoff more. What is the point of a 2-week break in between? Almost nothing. There's no point in a 2-week break between the quarterfinal and the semifinal. None. So why do we have it? And they say they want to continue the competitive advantage. Guys, that's BS. So around this time, we will have the conference championships for the AFC and NFC, and then the very next day you'll have the national championship. I get what college football is trying to do. I understand what the committee is wanting to do to have that competitive advantage over the NFL. Guys, the fact of the matter is that's really, really bad timing. It's bad timing. Let me tell you the transfer portal rankings right now for every college football team. And not a lot of them are bad. They're not. So here's the top 25 portal classes from the 26th cycle. Here's the ones that are in the college football playoff. Texas Tech at number 2. That's fine. Indiana at 3. Ohio State at 5. Ole Miss at 7. Texas A&M at 10. Oregon at 19. Georgia at 22. Bama at 23. Oklahoma 24. Now, imagine if the portal opens up. Well, let's say this. Let's say college football ends, and then you go straight into the portal. Guys, you know how much of an advantage it would be for everybody? If I feel like it would be more of an even ground if you are able to have the national championship played on January 1st. And then as soon as the national championship ends, boom, portal opens. It would make a lot more sense realistically. And to be quite frank with you, it seems like it's one of the only reasonable things that could potentially happen. Crazy as it sounds, I genuinely think that that is the thing that we are going to see at the end of the day. Hopefully, Scott will be on in just a few minutes. He's at Walmart right now. Does the calendar make sense? Absolutely not. Because I love how it's smack dab in the damn middle of the college football playoff. Just so love it when it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. It has no reason to even be in the conversation of the portal window being in the middle of the college football playoff. It doesn't. It has no business of it being in there. Now, why is it still in there? Probably money. Very likelihood it is. You wish that wasn't the case, but guys, realistically, got to look at it from a financial standpoint. Maybe that's the case when it comes to these TV ratings too. But you'd love for it to change. I certainly would. It was just fine when it was at the beginning of January, not near the end of it. All right. Let's get into the rest of what we have to talk about today. And man, this is just weird. The calendar is so weird, dude. I mean, good God. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Just doesn't, man. Everybody do us a favor real fast. Like, share, subscribe. We're 10 subscribers away from 100 subscribers. So make sure you all do us a favor. Hit the like, hit the share button, and hit that subscribe button. Let's take a break real fast. Got some quarterback rankings to talk about. Guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at Frost Buddy. It is drinkware engineered to keep your beverages exactly how you want them. Whether you're heading out for an adventure or just powering through your day, Frost Buddy's flagship product, the Universal Buddy, replaces the need for multiple can coolers by fitting virtually every 12-ounce and 16-ounce can bottle you drink, sodas and seltzers to coffee and sparkling water, all in a single versatile design. Constructed with high-quality double-walled stainless steel and thoughtful features like a flexible silicone lid and a tapered shape that fits most cup holders, Frost Buddy keeps drinks cold for 12 hours and hot for up to 6 hours. So you get consistent temperature control, whether it's an iced drink on a hot afternoon or a hot coffee on the drive to work. Built to last, field tested for durability, and backed by a 30-day return policy, Frost Buddy makes everyday moments, from tailgates and beach days to backyard cookouts and commutes more enjoyable. Going over and click the link below and use promo code SSS15 to get 15% off of your first purchase when you visit our friends over at frostbuddy.com. And when you use that promo code SSS15. Are you tired of spending upwards of $7 to $8 on coffees that are full of sugar and high in fat? Well, look no further than Chike Nutrition, the brand redefining what coffee can do for your day. Chike Nutrition combines the rich, familiar taste of real coffee with 20 grams of high-quality protein and the energy of 2 shots of espresso, giving you both fuel and function in every scoop. Available in a variety of crave-worthy flavors like mocha, caramel, vanilla, and many more, Chike delivers smooth, cafe-style iced coffee that mixes instantly with water or your favorite milk with no clunky blender or complicated prep needed. Each serving is designed to be low in sugar, packed with protein, and loaded with real espresso so that you can get a sustained energy that helps power your morning, workout, or busy afternoon without the crash that comes from sugary coffee drinks. Whether you're looking for better nutrition in your coffee routine or a smarter way to stay energized and full longer, Chike makes it simple. Scoop, shake, sip, and enjoy. If you want to take advantage of the new year and get in the best shape of your life, click the link below and get yourself 10% off of your first order over at ChikeNutrition.com. All right. So let's get into what I think will be a very hotly discussed day today. Let's talk about my ACC quarterback rankings and my Big 12 quarterback rankings. If those of you that were here on, I think it was probably, I want to say Monday. It was either Monday or no, it was sometime last week that we talked about our SEC quarterback rankings. I gave my thoughts on that. A lot of people had some decent responses to it, but let's go over our ACC quarterback rankings. Number 17, I got Dan Mahan at Duke. I don't know what the quarterback situation is going to look like for Manny Diaz going into his next year. I do think that this is going to still be a rebuild year. Initially, I had Duke like a week ago when they still had Darian Mensah and Cooper what's his name? Barkate. When they still had guys like Cooper Barkate and Darian Mensah in Duke, I would have said, and I did say, that they would be a dark horse ACC championship contender. I don't know what to expect with Dan Mahan if he is supposed to be the starter. I've heard other quarterbacks that are coming in. Guys, the bottom line is that you're going to have to rebuild, man. You're going to lose a lot on defense. You've got 3 studs out at defense that you're going to lose this upcoming year. Specifically, a guy like Anthony, your edge presence, that you're going to miss this upcoming season. Number 16, Clemson has an interesting quarterback situation. This is the first year, probably since after Deshaun Watson left, that, well, I wouldn't even say after Deshaun Watson left. I would say it was I think this is one of the first times in the Dabo Swinney era that you don't have an answer as to who it's going to be at quarterback. A lot of people, and I got some response from Clemson fans that said, hey, man, Chris Denson is for real. I think he's a legit quarterback. Heard some really good things about him. I don't know if it's going to be him. I don't know if it's Chris Vizina. former Elite 11 quarterback, been waiting his turn. At Clemson, 3 years behind Cade Klubnik. What is 2026 going to look like? He's a Briarwood Christian guy from Alabama. Scout obviously will know a little bit more about him once he officially gets his butt on here, which would be really, really, really needed. Let me just tell you. Anyways. When you have a moment like Clemson is having right now, where in essence, they are in free fall. You're going to lose 3 of your top defensive linemen, 2 of which are going to be in the top 20 in this year's NFL draft in TJ Parker and Peter Woods. You're going to lose an all-star DB like Avion Terrell, who's getting first-round draft grades. Your linebacking core is gone. How does Clemson respond? I just don't see a scenario looking at Clemson from a personnel standpoint. And look, Clemson, I get that Dabo's calling out the whole situation with Ole Miss and tampering. Guys, I don't personally believe that's going to make a difference with what their season has looked like, with what their outlook on what they will look like in 26 is going to look like. Now, do I think they finally got their biggest portal class that they have ever gotten? Ever. Now, this is an interesting one. You got Chris Johnson Jr. from SMU. But, I mean, other than that, guys, apart from guys like Donovan Starr, maybe London Merritt, Elliott Washington looks really good. I don't really know anyone else that I can realistically say can be a solid addition from the portal compared to what you got last year. I hate to say it, but Clemson is in free fall. And Dabo Swinney's contract is obviously very complex. I don't know what to expect from Clemson, dude. I don't. I worry about them. I worry about what they're going to look like this year. Got a lot to... It's hard to look at it with a clear lens and say that Clemson is going to be just fine, when last year is an example that it's obviously not. This is obviously going to be a rebuild year for Dabo. I don't think he gets fired. But in the slightest instance that he does, again, I don't think it's going to happen. Clemson, in my opinion, they're going to be lax with a guy like that. But stranger things have happened. A la Penn State with the James Franklin situation. Number 15, Davis Warren, who's now at Stanford. This is another situation where Stanford has just been poorly invested in over the last 5 years, where they have not been good at all, where they had to deal with David Shaw the last several years, and it's been nothing but really bad seasons, where after so much that you had to turn around, and after so many things that you've done. It just nothing has really changed for you. What does Tavita Pritchard do in his first year? I don't know. Former offensive coordinator there was around when Andrew Luck was there. He was a GA for a long time. Was, I believe, the starter, or he was the backup when Andrew Luck was there. So those two obviously have that connection. He was there during the last couple down years of the David Shaw era. Stanford has not had a winning season. Guys, they haven't won more than 5 games since 2018. They went 9-4 that season. They have not had a winning season since 2020 when they went 4-2. Understand that. That is what Stanford right now is going through. Athletics is absolutely garbage right now at Stanford. It's a joke. It's a joke, guys. They haven't made the NCAA tournament in basketball in over 10 years. Baseball hasn't been back to the CWS in a couple years. And I've asked, like, man, what happened with Stanford baseball? Had a lot of seniors that graduated after 23. Last 2 years have been disaster for them. And is Davis Esquire mostly to blame for it? No. Part of it has been because you've had guys that you've recruited, guys that you've tried to develop that just simply fallen flat on their face. They have not been good whatsoever. But back to Davis Warren, I don't know how he's going to develop. Former Michigan quarterback, hasn't shown on anything. Tough ask, man. Tough ask for him going into a situation like they have right now at Stanford. Cali kid, though, so we'll see. 14, I have Billy Edwards Jr., who's now at North Carolina. Back in the ACC after a short stint at Wisconsin. This is his final year of eligibility. He had coming off of a year at Maryland. That was his last full year as a starter. 2,800 yards, 15-9 touchdown interception ratio. Was at Wisconsin last year and then got hurt. So what does the Bobby Petrino and Billy Edwards Jr. combination look like? I think Billy Edwards might outperform expectations of what people expect of him. Now, you look at a guy like Max Johnson, who was just in a really bad situation at North Carolina, gets hurt at the start of the year. He was actually having some decent games, and I know that didn't look as pleasing initially after he got hurt, but he's still an efficient quarterback. Make no mistake about that. I just don't think that the offense that Gio Lopez was in was just the right fit for him. It wasn't. It was a bad situation, and I think Coach Belichick knows that, and that's why I think he made the change going into this offseason, hiring a guy like Petrino, who should make a much bigger impact on that offense. Petrino's still trying to get his next head coaching gig. That's why I think he's at North Carolina. I think he knows something that, quite honestly, me and you both know. Most don't know. I think he may be taking over the North Carolina job when Belichick either announces his resignation or gets fired after 2026. Number 13, I have Lincoln Keenholz. Young guy. What is he going to bring to Louisville? Well, been around a really good Ohio State quarterback room. Was behind Kyle McCord and Devin Brown in 23. Was behind Julian Sayin. Well, not behind Julian Sayin, but he was behind Julian Sayin this past year and outperformed expectations. Absolutely blew expectations out the water. 24 was when he sat behind Will Howard, excuse me. But anyways, how good can Keenholz be? Jeff Brom has just a knack for developing quarterbacks that want to get more playing time and or want to get more opportunities and more reps. Guys, Lincoln Keenholz is going to be surrounded by some dudes. Isaac Brown's arguably the best running back in the ACC. He's going to have a big say in helping him run the offense. I think those two have an amazing connection together. I think they'll be just fine in that offense. I do believe that Keenholz may be a sleeper for ACC Offensive Player of the Year when it is all said and done. Number 12, I have Alberto Mendoza, who's now at Wake Forest, the younger brother of Fernando Mendoza. Showed some in every blowout, 5-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He's looked pretty good. And I know he's thrown a combined total of 24 passes. And I know that he barely got to play. Guys, when he carried the football, though, he made some he made himself look really promising. I think he's one of the more promising young players right now in the ACC. It's going to be very impressive, to say the least, with the talent that this kid is going to put on display in Wake Forest. He's absolutely going to blow expectations out of the water. I really believe that. Or excuse me, not Wake Forest, Georgia Tech. When you pair him with the type of style of offense that Brent Key likes to run, and I understand Buster Faulkner ain't there no more. Guys, I personally could care less. It don't matter if it was a Buster Faulkner offense or if it might have been anyone else. Doesn't matter to me. George Godsey, let's see what he can bring. He's a former Georgia Tech guy. He played quarterback at GT, sat behind a living legend at Georgia Tech. Looked absolutely incredible. Let's see who this was, by the way, that I was thinking about. Oh, Lordy. I don't even remember. I had him in my mind. Joe Hamilton. That's who I'm thinking of. Joe Hamilton, I'm surprised, hasn't really expressed an interest in coaching. I'll be honest, man. I think he could return to the flats at some point and still be a part of that program, I think it would be really good if he does that. Obviously, I'm not the one to say, but again. But George Godsey, his first real experience back as a coach at the collegiate level since 2010 when he was the running backs coach at UCF. He's been offensive 2 years as an OC with the Houston Texans, quarterbacks coach for the Texans and Lions, then was spent the last 3 years as the tight ends coach with the Baltimore Ravens. So I'm interested to see what Alberto Mendoza can do, despite Georgia Tech losing a good bit of their offensive line to the NFL draft. Mason McKenzie interests the ever-loving hell out of me. Why do I say that? One of the best Division II quarterbacks at Saginaw State. And by the way, very similar skill set to Trinidad Chambliss, except he's a bit bigger than Trinidad Chambliss. 4,300 yards passing, 31 touchdowns in 25 games, and had 1,600 yards and 18 touchdowns on the ground. Conference Player of the Year, really one of the more electric players in Division II in the 2 years that he was at. You know, when you compete with a guy like Trinidad Chambliss and you dominate the way you do, we've seen what he's doing right now in the SEC. Let's see what Mason McKenzie can do in this Bill O'Brien offense that I think can fit him really well. I think that Bill O'Brien is going to let him kind of be himself. He's going to let the offense revolve around him, and he's going to let his weapons help create plays for him so that Mason McKenzie can develop into the prototypical NFL quarterback that we're going to see at the next level. Number 10, I have Gio Lopez. I was contemplating on flipping Lopez and McKenzie, but I stuck with my gut and kept the former ACC starter who's now going to be at Wake Forest. Guys, as bad as Gio Lopez and that offense looked last year for North Carolina, I am still of the impression that it was a system issue and not a personnel issue. I really, really believe that. I think that Gio Lopez is as advertised. We've seen it before when he's in a competent offense. Go look at what he did at South Alabama. Go look at what he's done in big-time games in there. And look at the type of magic that he's pulled together. Look at what he did against LSU. It looked pretty good in those games. Gio Lopez looked really, really damn good against teams like LSU. They're going to be just fine, okay? We've seen the best and we've seen the worst of Gio Lopez at times, but I really do believe that his future is extremely, extremely bright with Wake Forest. Go look and see what Robbie Ashford did last year. Robbie Ashford, of all quarterbacks, the guy that just couldn't make it in the SEC with Auburn and with South Carolina. He goes to Wake Forest, and you know what he does? He leads the Deacons to an 8-win season in Jake Dickert's first year. First year, they win 8 games. They win 9 games in his first year. Robbie Zell follows him from South to Wake Forest. Dude, I'm telling you, Wake Forest could be a team to look out for in the ACC. They are, in my opinion, Wake Forest could be a sleeper for an ACC championship in 2026. If there is any team that is going to be able to contend with Miami and really just Miami, it could be Wake Forest. That's a sleeper team for me. Number 9, I have Ashton Daniels. I'm be honest with you, I'm thinking about re-ranking this and putting him lower. Gus Malzahn is gone. Now what do you expect from Ashton Daniels? Again, the last two games, we've seen some really good moments from Ashton. We've seen some really bad moments. I think the last two games from him against Vanderbilt and against Alabama show, in my opinion, what he can do. On the ground, he's lethal. You cannot let him get loose. But does he have the efficiency to throw the football through the air? Struggled greatly against Alabama in that department. You have got to be able to get into a rhythm early on and often. I don't know what Florida State's offense is going to look like in 2026. Mike Norvell knows that he is on the damn hot seat. They should be well aware of what is going to happen. Mike Norvell is going to be your play caller. So what are you going to do? Mike Norvell knows that this is make or break for him. Guys, he's making almost $10 million a year. And the last 2 years have been absolutely disastrous. You and I both know that. You and I are not stupid to know that. You've won 7 games in the last 2 seasons. You've won 3 ACC games. 3 ACC games. You have got to make changes. You have to make the changes that are necessary for you to succeed. But guys, apart from 2 seasons in the Mike Norvell era, I have not been remotely impressed with what they have put on display. In 4 seasons, aside from 22 and 23, in 22 and 23, they went 23-4. In the 4 seasons aside from that, let me repeat that. In the 4 seasons aside from 2022 and 2023, they are 15-30. 15-30 in 4 seasons there. You've got to make a change at the end of 2026 if you're Florida State. And I know Mike Norvell knows that this is make or break for him. He's got to turn it around. If he doesn't, he's screwed. He's absolutely screwed. Number 8, I have Steve Angeli. I am not going to pull the plug on Fran Brown just yet. I still think Fran Brown is going to be one of the most real coaches in all of college football. He is that good. But in 2026, you have had serious issues that had to get addressed. There are staff changes that were made, which, great. Syracuse made the changes. That was necessary. Jeff Nixon is your new offensive coordinator, which is never mind. I'm looking at 2025. So trying to look and see what your offense is going to look like. Defensively, you were one of the worst in college football. Absolutely one of the worst in college football. Ricky Brumfield, Joe Schaefer, Dale Williams, Robert Wright are gone. They're gone. So gone is Robert Wright, your co-defensive coordinator from last year. Elijah Robinson is now at Texas A&M as the co-DC. So I don't know what you're going to look like at defense. But Steve Angeli is still going to be one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC when he's healthy. I think if he's healthy, he's really, really good. We've seen his moments where he can be one of the better quarterbacks in all of the ACC. I firmly believe that, and I'm going to continue to believe that. Nothing is going to change my mind on that. But again, man, you've got to surround him with good pieces. You didn't last year. We'll see what happens this year. Ethan Grunkenmeyer. Man, what is Virginia Tech going to get with him? Productive guy, takes care of the football. He had some really good games. Indiana was one of his better games that he's played. Had a key interception, but I thought the rest of this year on that during that 4-game winning streak, I thought he played his best football. Efficient. I know he didn't throw the football as much, but he didn't have to because playmakers will make plays in space. That's what I think Grunkenmeyer is going to bring at Virginia Tech. Number 6, I have Bo Pribula. I was thinking about putting Bo Pribula higher. Now, you're going to look at the stat sheet and you're going to say, well, 11-9 touchdown to interception ratio, just under 2,000 yards passing. I know that he got hurt and missed a month of the season. Guys, this kid is really good. At his best, he can be one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC. I really believe that. Crazy as it sounds, and crazy as I am compared to other people. Guys, I really, really, really like what I really like Bo Pribula. Electric on the ground. When you get him out in space, he's dangerous. Pretty football that he throws and can make the tough throws. Number 5, I have Mason Heitschnall. Strong first year as a starter, taking over for Eli Holstein. Guys, he is for real. If he can limit the turnovers in clutch moments, he can be a great quarterback for Pitt. I think he's going to continue to be a great quarterback for Pitt. Number 4, I have Kevin Jennings, who I was surprised decided to return to college football. I thought he was going to hit the draft. I really did. Glad that he's staying at SMU for his last year. Rhett Lashley and Kevin Jennings have an opportunity to be two of the best coaching signal callers and quarterbacks in the ACC. It helps when you have the correct pieces around you so that you can spread the football around. I think Kevin Jennings is in for another fantastic year as an SMU quarterback, and it's another Rhett Lashley quarterback that's going to go in the resume for him. It is already growing one. Really excited for what Lashley can do. Number 3, I have CJ Bailey. I got a little hot water with CJ Bailey and JKS. Between the two, many people thought he should be number 2. Don't matter. Bailey's still the best quarterbacks in college football. Thank and go turn on the DJ Bailey is that dude. You don't need me to tell you that you can go watch Carolina State and then you can tell that dude. High football IQ. Very efficient on the football. Intermediate throw in his strong point. And I think he's going to be the first quarterback step off the board in 2027. Very high NFL ceiling when I evaluate a kid like that. I'm a very special player. Things are going to be very bad for Staley over the next few months of the season. Number 2, I have JKS, Cherokee always sack play. All right, there we go. Are we back? All right, there we go. All right. Hey, if you're in the chat, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up if we're good. The has been very happy to say this, and I know that our footage is helpful. But back thinking career with Cal. Darian Mensah is obviously number 1 in my book. I mean, you can turn on the tape. One of the best quarterbacks in the ACC and probably will be one of the better quarterbacks in college football this time next year. Y'all have a great rest of the night. We'll see you guys soon.